Moldova Developer Conference. I think I've been set up really hard to present after the previous presenters, like I think Adrian Urso will sing after Kanye West, but let's try. My name is Vadim, I'm working at Stefanini, and today I wanna talk a bit of some boring stuff, but there is, in my opinion, should be brought up in Moldova. But before we start, can we raise hand if you do unit testing in your team? Nice, interesting. Yeah. So today I have a few tips for you. So we'll start with why you should invest in some test-driven development. I'll try to give a few test strategies, how we can automate this, some tips and tricks, and we'll probably have some time for some QA. But before that, I want to start with a small story. Not long ago, I've been searching for a car, and besides that this was an awful experience, it struck me that I've been almost run out of YouTube videos reviewing. I've been searching what's the best car to buy, how much to run, when it will break. And I think most of us share this, and I saw that there is a pattern when we search for the best stuff. We search for quality, and I think one of the interesting ideas is that testing is not just for software engineering or software construction. It's it is present in other industries. So here you can see how Apple tests their phones so that when you sit on it, it doesn't break. We have in automotive industry all kind of tests for their hardware, like in this example you can see a test for leakage. So that's how they are sure for quality, and I want to encourage you to be like Apple, be like Volkswagen, be like your beloved brand, and try to strive for their quality. And as software engineers, the first step in that direction, in my opinion, is unit testing. Yeah, it's boring, but I saw from interviews we conduct that not many teams practice it. And why we would like to implement unit testing in our team. The first, of course, is that we want to ship these days products on a fast pace, and you want to be sure that you won't break anything. You want to have a status when your feature is done, and you can merge it and then release it to hundreds, thousands, or maybe millions of customers. So you need a way to be sure that the things you are writing are correct. Then, of course, we want to have a low defect rate in our code base. The standard industry has at most 10 defects per 1,000 of lines. Of course, that's something we should try to achieve. And it's what I saw from my experience. I'm always confident when I do refactoring, when I move things around, that I have something to be sure that things won't break. And this is shared. I spoke with many engineers in our company that practice unit testing, and that was a common theme. And of course, practicing unit testing forces you, or in a way, to write better code quality. Um, so yeah, that's something you may have if you were to apply unit testing. And I thought that maybe a small example would be welcome to show a few testing strategies that I saw helpful in our code base. And for this, I have a sample thermostat that you all have probably in your home. And say we want to write a companion app to this thermostat. And our requirements, it's simple. We have the user can set a desired temperature, and then the thermostat can measure the ambient temperature in the room. And then depending if the heating, the desired heating is higher than the ambient temperature, then the heating will turn on. And consequently, if the cooling should be on if desired temperature is lower than the ambient. And say we got the specification and started on a simple, on the first iteration on our class for the thermostat. And in this case, we have a way to set the desired temperature and then to measure the ambient temperature. And then a method that would say control the device. And how we would proceed to test this in a way that we want to test our class fast, but what test strategy can I apply? I could, of course, input a lot of numbers here, but that won't be quite compressive test, and it will drag me down. Of course, we want to have, as I said, a fast test suite. And nonetheless, we want to have a test case or a test suite that has test the program in depth. And the first testing idea that I saw helps, and I'm applying it, is to partition the input space. And for our example, the first step is to find inputs with the same behavior. So in this case, we see that we have the space of values for our ambient temperature, and then there is the desired temperature, and they have some values that interlap or intersect in the middle. And then you would try one input from each set, because we know that the outcome will be the same. And here we have a few test cases based on this. So this is some JavaScript code for the node, so that should be known. So based on this, we have a test case that is testing if the heating should be turned on when the desired temperature is higher. And then we have another one that is should turn the cooling on when the ambient temperature is higher than the desired one. And of course, another one when everything should be off when they are equal. And here we took some values, as I said, from that set. I don't have, I don't know, iteration of all the values from the desired temperature, ambient temperature. Another interesting idea I saw quite often is when we are skipping edge cases or values at the boundaries, like 0 or min-max, those types of values that often we get errors there. Oops, and yeah. No credits. But in that test case, I had a test case with values for max, max values for desired temperature when the heating should be on. And then I also inputted the max values when they should be off. Of course, you do not want heating to be up. Yep. And then another also powerful tool is regression testing. When you get an issue reported, you write a test, and then you fix the thing, and you are not embarrassed the next time when you get this in production, because I saw teams where somebody would report an issue and then they would fix it but break the other thing. So I think that's a really powerful thing that only is available to you if you were to apply unit testing. And yeah, as I said, it's a really powerful thing to assure that you don't have regressions and this issue won't reappear in your product again. And another tool that one would use is the code coverage that shows you how much of the code is tested. There are many ideas how we should apply coverage, but in a way we've been at least trying to coverage all the statements and the branches if possible. There are cases when one cannot do this because of unreachable code. And another tool for us is to apply a minimum code coverage. Usually that's between 80 and 100% of test coverage. That of course won't assure you that you are bug-free, but in a way it's a step in the right direction to assure that every new code that is introduced has a code coverage, and at least exercise the feature that is being developed. And of course, technology is good as long as it doesn't stay in your way. And we, as engineers, should try to automate everything as much as possible. One way, and I think every team should do this, is to automate using a build server. In this case, say for our small example, we are using GitHub Actions, and we have a small workflow where on every push on our branch, we'll get immediate feedback how much is covered and if there are any issues. And of course, you can do this on your PC locally, but as we engineers sometimes are lazy, it's always benefic for the team as it grows to have things in place that get automated and one doesn't forget to merge things that actually have some tests failing, like in this case. So I cannot stress this enough that one should automate these things besides unit testing, as linting and so on. And now I have some tips and tricks that I found helpful while in our team developing and writing unit tests. And the one is, of course, to find a balance when one is writing unit tests and mainly when one should mock things or stub things. Because sooner or later you'll test imaginary code, and that's quite dangerous when moving on a fast pace. Is that, for example, in our team we've been mocking some external libraries, and when we upgraded, actually we got some false positives, and that's something that one should look after to find the right way when to use one after another. It depends on the use case, but you should always keep an eye on it. The other thing is one should try to have the unit tests short and stateless, since that's the power of it. You can run them in seconds, and they shouldn't have a dependency between them. They can be parallelized, and moreover, I think no framework actually, testing framework, assures you about the order of tests when they are run. Another important thing I saw is to use descriptive names when writing tests, because when they fail, sometimes it's hard to fast or to understand why it failed. And keeping names descriptive really helps. And of course, as I said, always test for edge cases. That's usually when things go wrong. As engineers, we try to always look for the happy path, right? And right after, when this gets used more often, then you get all kinds of issues. So always, as we discussed, try to look for edge cases. And of course, automate as much as possible. As your team grows, as your product, as your code base gets more complexity, you'll have troubles when things are not automated, and mainly with unit testing. That's really, really useful. For example, we have a lot of teams when one can cross develop and can open pull requests in other teams. And it's hard when somebody needs to double check again, so everything is automated and you get feedback quick on different rules of that team. So, yeah. And of course, I saw that this is a common theme. I tried actually to use tools like GitHub Copilot to test, to write unit tests for me. It's still a work ongoing, but I saw some improvements lately. It's not there, but I encourage you to give it a try. Yep, that's, I think, what I had to say. I think we have some time for questions. There are any?
У нас есть вопросы? Поднимайте руки, ноги. Да, Стас, спасибо.
What is the percentage of using TDD in your projects?
So in Stefanini, there are quite a few projects. On the one I work, there is almost, I think, close to 90%. I still strive to encourage other teams to try it in Stefanini. And it's it's quite hard. That's why I'm trying to push it out here. Hopefully my teammates will hear this. But yeah, I think in my project that's almost 100%. In Stefanini, I would say in other projects, close to 50 probably.
Okay, if we don't have any more questions, yeah, let's clap our hands and say thank you. Thank you, Vadim.